welcome to the Writer Tribe Talk Show with your host, Elsa Kurt. Here's the place we talk about all things writing, publishing, and promoting your book. If you're looking for the perfect gift for the reader in your life, why not check out one of my books? They're all available on Amazon and most major online book retailers, as well as elsakurt.com. So I have a question about that. So does your spirit animal pick you, or do you pick your spirit animal? How does that work? I always wanted to know what mine was. I have no idea, obviously.
So they pick you. They pick you. And you should look at Crane, the bird. Yeah. Did you like that?
That was perfect. Well, funny enough, I actually have one on my wall in here just simply because I love it. So strange.
Well, but yes, the reason that nobody wants to be a badger. Nobody, they want to be a wolf. They want to be something glamorous. And so yeah, you don't get to choose, really. You get to be chosen. So it's the things that you're attracted to.
Interesting.
So I also have platypus and anteater, and they're all seekers. They're all diggers.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So
that's very cool. Yeah, I always expect that if I ever find out that it is going to be some type of bird. I definitely have an affinity with birds. So I feel like, who knows? I guess I don't get to pick. So darn it.
Yeah, and I'm rarely wrong about this, just so you know.
I love that.
So we were talking about how should I talk about my work? Should I be forward and not look like an introvert? But
yeah, no, I love it. I want to talk about any of the things that make you who you are and got you to where you are. That's really absolutely. I mean, I love talking about my authors. I treat you all like you're mine. You're mine. But I love hearing about your books, of course, and giving everybody the opportunity to promote their books and do all of that stuff. And that's hugely important. But I love hearing the journey and all the behind the scenes stuff and how you got here, because I find it all so relatable for so many of us. And I always feel like, like me, other authors and aspiring authors are going to sit and watch these and go, oh my God, me too. And they're going to feel seen and understood. And I think that's hugely important, especially for our crowd who, I mean, as you know, writing is a one person deal. It's just you and your laptop, or if you're writing, God bless you if you're handwriting, because I can't do it, but
I do.
You do.
Yes.
And I bet do you have beautiful handwriting? You do, don't you?
Catholic school.
Oh, then it's perfect. Flawless. Yes.
Yeah. My daughter says she can't read it because this is our secret language. So but yeah, I write an awful lot out in longhand, and if I get hung up, I'll go back to the longhand and hash it out instead of beating up my Macintosh.
I love it. That makes perfect sense. No, I get it. I wish I could do it like that, but I can't. It will look like a toddler scribbled on paper. It's bad. No, so tell me, I swear to God, it's so bad. So tell me about Seeking the Spirits of Paulo Kimbiza. I perked up at that because simply because the word Cuban, because I love to brag that I'm half Cuban. The sad part is I do not speak Spanish. I am mortified and embarrassed. It's a very short story. I am half Cuban and half German, and my respective grandparents all spoke their native languages growing up, and I never learned either. So yeah, I could be multilingual, and yet I'm not.
Well, I'm really terrible at other people's spoken languages, and I'm really, that's where my introversion comes in, is like I feel like I'm gonna really screw it up. So but and my godfather and Paulo doesn't really he doesn't really hold it against me. We met, this is a great story that's going to sound really weird. The Stone Circle and Stone Circle Oracle takes place at a place called Four Quarters Interfaith Sanctuary. about which I will say precious little. But the first year that I was just vending, I was selling prints and stuff. And we had this, it was 2006, and we'd had a tremendous storm that flooded everything. So getting out of town to go to this event was insane. I mean, everything was blocked. So finally got there and, you know, got everything set up and everything was cool. And I felt like something was, and I was with a friend of mine and her husband, and I felt like something was wrong. Okay. I was having trouble sleeping and things like that. Well, come to find out that my friend was hanging out with somebody at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair who practiced Santeria. And my favorite, I love the Latin American authors, and Jorge Amado talks about candomblé, and many of the names of the deities are very similar. And I remember saying to her, you watch out for that shit. That shit is real.
Oh
Okay.
boy. Wow. Yeah.
So I come to find out when we got back that this woman thought that my friend had been dragged kicking and screaming by her husband out to this place. And so she had, well, they call it throwing.
Okay.
She had cast against, she said, their campsite. And I'm like, you know, I'm not really completely knowledgeable about this, but it's really takes some mad skills to, you know, target something like that. You know, this is carpet bombing. I was so mad. So, this woman put my friend in touch with her godfather in Palo. And so she came home just effusive. I mean, like, oh my God, it was so cool and everything. And that night I dreamt that I had to go see him, and then I had to take a copy of my latest self-portrait with me as a gift, because you're supposed to give him a gift. And so she set it up, and oh, look, it's right on top. Isn't that great? So here's the self-portrait.
Oh, look at, oh, that's fabulous. Wow. That's gorgeous.
So, yeah, that was a few years ago. so basically we go in, and he's this enormous Cuban man, and there's this thing we used to call it Palo time, where you'd like sit down and start talking to him, and suddenly it's 1 a.m. Mm. So I am not an initiate, but I have special place in his heart, because I do all the paintings.
Okay.
Of the various, in Palo, it's not quite the same as some of the other Afro-Cuban religions, where the spirits are elemental, they're personified elements, whereas in Santeria they're deified, personified elements. It's okay. Santeria is much more. Okay, so this was the first one I did, and this is an interesting story about this one. I don't know if you can see that. There she is.
Yeah. Yep. I can see it.
So he actually has the first 10 that I did.
Wow.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm a good goddaughter.
Yeah, you are.
So we, but actually I'm told that the book is extremely readable, and that it is engaging. It's not a how-to book. It's not a scientific discourse or an anthropologist's view. It is straight up kind of, here we go. Straight up anecdotal. It's
gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
And so one of the things, now I didn't want to go and do like, you should do this, you should not do this, blah, blah, blah. So there is an entity named Lucero, and Lucero is a trickster. And he's the guy that if you ask for it, you'll get it, and, you know, not really what you wanted. And so my godfather has this thing he calls Lucero TV, which is when everything goes completely sideways in your life, you're on Lucero TV. And so I did Lucero TV channels and TV listings. And I remember the graphics department called me and they said, you know, so what do you think of this? And I said, well, I really like the book, except I really want the Lucero TV, the listings to look like TV Guide.
Mhm.
And they said, we can do that. And so we have TV Guide listings.
That's
And
so
you know,
cool.
and basically each of the stories or each of the shows covers an aspect of the things that you shouldn't do,
Hmm.
you know. And but you know, there's a lot of really very funny stuff, and because they're dead serious religions, and there's a lot that people don't like, you know, mainstream Americans are like, ugh.
Right.
But you know, I'm telling you that most of the practitioners that I know are very, very good people. And, you know, straight up, they know more about what they're doing with their religion than most Americans do. So,
Hmm.
you
I
know,
believe that. That does not surprise me.
yeah, yeah. So then that one is illustrated in black and white.
Okay.
I have actually gone from watercolors in the Stone Circle Oracle. The Promethean Oracle is colored pencil on black paper.
Mm.
And these are, the illustrations for this one are in pen and ink. And I found this fabulous thing called a dots pen. It makes the dots for you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Let me see. I'm looking for art. Oh, look, there's Lucero. Uh,